Hi, folks. Darin Holden here, Executive Director at Camp Anokijig. The tragic flooding that affected the camp down in Texas last week has been on everybody's minds this week. The whole camping community is heartbroken and sympathizes with those that have lost so much. Can't imagine the pain that they're in. Now, as to be expected, many parents that are looking forward to sending their kid to camp over the next few weeks are pausing to ask, what are my camp safety plans? What are Anokijig's plans in the case of emergency weather so that my kid can be safe? So to help reassure folks, I'd like to go over a few of the details of our emergency plan. First, how do we keep an eye on the weather in the first place? Number one, just like you, when the weather looks like it's changing, we monitor several weather reporting sites online and on local TV. Of course, they get their data from weather stations all over the local area. In fact, I've wanted to put one of those reporting stations right here at camp for years so that parents can actually see the weather that's happening right at camp. If anybody'd like to sponsor that, give me a call. I'd love to get it put up. Now, currently, I actually compare 3 different sites to see what the different predictions are and to see the radar at different times. One of those sites is actually a real-time version that actually tracks individual storm cells. It looks like the one that you would see on TV when the weatherman breaks in if there's a severe storm warning in your area. So it's got actually the tracks of where particular storm cells go, their intensity, and the timing of things. So that information gives us some real detailed things to follow through on. Now, if threatening weather is on the horizon, we do sometimes also alter our programming to keep kids a little bit closer to the center at camp. We'll have horse rides be shorter. We'll have shorter hikes, kind of keep people close. And at the waterfront, they'll be particularly vigilant for sightings of thunder and lightning. Now, if that's noticed, the waterfront is closed for a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes and kept closed until it's free of those things for 20 to 30 minutes. Now, at camp, we don't allow campers to have phones, and the staff are not allowed to let the campers see their phones, so they're not out much. I am the one that does carry a phone on my hip, and I do it for just this purpose. In our area, we have an automated warning system that alerts my phone whenever emergency services puts out any type of watch or warning. Could be weather, could be safety, could be an Amber Alert, but it comes specifically to my phone 24 hours a day. In addition, we make contact with the local sheriff, police, fire, and EMS departments every year and alert them to the dates that camp is going to be in session so that they're aware that we've got lots of people here. We also have had several of those departments do their training here so that they're familiar with the property in case they need to respond to something out here. And at this time, we also happen to have the plus of having a program director that serves as an active volunteer on the EMT first responder unit. And so she's got the actual county dispatch pager and the county dispatch radio. So we have an even higher awareness ability than most camps do at any time. Finally, the county does have an active siren warning system for tornado warnings. That system is activated for severe weather, but it's also tested monthly, so there's a particular day and time that it goes off. But it also goes off every day at noon, still to tell the farmers to go home for lunch. So we know that works well. Now in camp, we have our own siren. And each Sunday night, as one of the last orientation items, we go over what to do when that siren sounds. We do that with the whole camp population all at once, right before that first campfire. And we actually do a siren test so the kids can actually hear that siren and know what it sounds like. Now the kids are taught that if they hear that siren, they drop everything that they're doing and go immediately to the main dining hall and sit at their tables. On each table, there's a roster of the kids and staff that sit at that table. So very quickly, we can find out who is all there so we can make sure we got them all together. Fact is, for our staff training weeks, we actually do a live drill of this process. And when we do those drills, we can normally get everybody in the lodge by just under 3 minutes to have them all in safety there. Now, we blow our siren and initiate that process when we determine that the weather is going to be moving into heavier storms or lightning or heavy winds. We don't necessarily wait for a warning to be officially done on the Weather Service. Now, once the kids get into that lodge, if the storm is not one that's going to have a tornado risk, well, then we'll hunker down there, we'll lead songs, we'll tell stories. Like as we do songs and stories that we don't do any other time. So that even becomes kind of a special event. And the kids can stay calm and kind of weather out that storm. If a storm is popping up in the overnight hours, when that storm arises, we often will, if it's going to have a little heavier winds and not just rain, then we may actually not do an official warning, but we'll often go and move the kids from the tents to the main lodge for a short-term indoor sleepover. So we keep track of it even to that level. Now, once we got all the kids together, if the storms are such that there is a tornado warning predicted, we'll move to our underground shelter area. Now, thanks to the generosity of many people, that is where I sit right now. This is our new $6 million Centennial Lodge. It was built last year, and it was first and foremost built for this room. That's what started the whole project. About 3/4 of this room is under 30 feet of a hill, and it's right next to the main lodge. In fact, it's connected to the main lodge. The walls and ceilings that you see behind me are 14 inches thick. And this room is built to FEMA storm shelter standards. It even has tornado secure doors. Now we have a place where all of the campers and staff can fit all at once very quickly. As I said, it's located just steps away from the main lodge, which means that if we get all the kids in there in 3 minutes, about another 2 minutes, we can get them all in this building, and everybody can be sitting right here. So thank you to all those that donated to create this room. And we're still raising funds to finish paying it off. So if you'd like to help, please contact me. Now, in regards to flooding in particular, our lake is a spring-fed lake with an artificial drain system. Yes, we've got a 10-inch overflow pipe that actually goes under the parking lot of camp and goes out of camp, and that helps keep the water level stable. Works kind of like your tub drain. The water gets so high, it just overflows into this pipe. So the rain can rise the level a bit, but we don't have a creek or a river flowing into camp that has the potential to bring in floodwaters from other areas. Other than the rain that falls here at camp, that's the only rain that could affect our lake. In addition, since we are in the Kettle Moraine Forest area, our terrain is very hilly. Our housing areas, as well as the new shelter space that I'm sitting in, are about 20 feet or more above the level of the lake. So in our particular location, the time it would take for the lake to fill to those levels, to where those housing units are, from a rain event that's just raining here, would give us an ample time to arrange for a full evacuation if we needed to. In fact, our town now has a new emergency management committee that we're working with to have plans ready in case there was ever a mass evacuation that we needed to do. Finally, when a weather event happens, our first focus is on the safety of all those in camp. That means that we're going to be here in this shelter and not on the office phone. However, we realize that parents want to know that their kids are safe. So after those events, or if the time in the shelter is going to be extended for any amount of time, we will make efforts to post updates on our social media sites and on our websites to let parents know that their camper is safe. So hopefully that information that I've just given you will help alleviate at least a little bit of the anxiety. We know that you put your trust in us to care for your child, and people have been doing that for over 100 seasons. Please know that we take that trust incredibly strongly, and we will do everything in our power to be sure that your camper comes home not just healthy but healthier, not just happy but happier, and hopefully a better kid than when you dropped him off at camp. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'd be happy to talk through things with you. Please take a moment in your day to keep the folks in Texas in your prayers and in your thoughts, and think positive thoughts for them. Until we see you again at camp, have a safe day. Rick Tech.